I always wanted to be an inspiration for people. I want to inspire you to create a vision and use your will to accomplish it. In these ways, I'm very happy to take the torch and to be a role model for others, because I've always had great role models myself. Now, every time I meet a great person, I try to ask the angle that has worked for them. I know that there are 1,000 keys to success, and I love distilling new rules from my experience and theirs. Woven through the stories in this memoir are some of the principles of success that have worked for me. When I talk to graduating classes, I always try to offer lessons everyone can use, like have a vision, trust yourself, break some rules, ignore the naysayers, and don't be afraid to fail. When someone tells you no, you should hear yes. The impossible was a word that I love to ignore. The only way to make the possible possible is to try the impossible. If you fail, so what? That's what everyone expects. Forget plan B. Change takes big balls. To test yourself and grow, you have to operate without a safety net. If there's no plan B, then plan A has to work. If you're anxious instead of making fallback plans, think about the worst that can happen if you fail. I mean, how bad could it be? You quickly find out it's really nothing. Never follow the crowd. Go where it's empty. I think it's easier to stand out when you aim straight for the top. No matter what you do in life, selling is part of it. People can be great poets, great writers, geniuses in the lab. You can do the finest work, and if people don't know, you have nothing. Absolutely nothing. The day has 24 hours. I once gave a talk at the University of California, and after my talk, a student raised his hand and complained, "Governor, since the budget crisis hit us, my tuitions have been going up twice already. I mean, when is this going to stop?" So I said, "Well, I understand it's difficult, but what do you mean it's too high? Now I have to work part-time in order to support the tuition. I have to study. I am going to class. I cannot make it. I don't have the time to go part-time to work and do all that." So I said, "Well, let's figure this out. I mean, how many hours do you go to class? And how much studying do you do or have to do? So far, I have 6 hours one day and 7 hours the other day. What do you do with the rest of the time?" I said to him. "The day is 24 hours. Have you ever thought about working more? Or since we have these extra hours available, maybe even taking more classes, rather than wasting your life away, or rather than complaining that maybe the government is responsible for your education and you have no responsibility?" But the class was shocked to hear me say this. "You're talking about 6 hours a day. The day is 24 hours, so you have 18 hours left. So if your part-time job takes 4 hours, you still have time for dating, dancing, drinking, going out and doing all kinds of things. Why are you complaining?" I said. So I explained how I, as a student, I trained 5 hours a day for the Mr. Olympia competition and gone to acting classes in the evening from 8 to 11:30, almost 4 hours. I worked in construction several hours a day and gone to college and done my homework. I done all of that. And let me tell you, I was not the only one that was as energetic. In my class at Santa Monica College and at UCLA Extension, there were people who were also working full-time, and still they went to school. It's natural to hope for someone else to foot the bill, but I think there's nothing wrong with everyone chipping in a little bit and making some sacrifices to make it happen. Plus, it is your education. Reps, reps, reps. You need reps. The more you do it, the better it is. Writing out my goals became second nature, and so did the conviction that there are no shortcuts. It took hundreds and even thousands of repetitions, hour after hour. It was all about doing it over and over again. You have to go from morning to night and do the reps and do the mileage. And that's when you get good. That's just the way it is. There's no shortcut. Take care of your body and your mind. You have to build the ultimate physical machine, but you also have to build the ultimate mind. For people who are successful with their intelligence, the opposite applies. They need to exercise the body every day. Don't overthink. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't use your brain, but part of us needs to go through life also instinctively. By not analyzing everything, You get rid of all the garbage that loads you up and bugs you down. The more you know, the more you hesitate, which is why even the smartest people blow it big time. Don't blame your parents, and if you've been left with problems, those problems are now yours to solve. That's right. Maybe your parents were too supportive, or too protective, or maybe they were too harsh. Who knows? Look, I loved my father when I was a little kid, and I always wanted to be like him. But then later on, I hated the pressure that he put my brother and me under. He was brutal at times, but I think this just came because he was in a war. If he had lived in a more normal way, he would have been a different person. So I've often wondered, what if he would have been warmer and nicer to me? Would I have left Austria? Would I have been as hungry as I was? Probably not. And that is my fear. I became Arnold because of what he did to me. I recognized that I could channel my upbringing in a positive way rather than to look back and complain. And I could use it so I could create a vision, to have goals. His harshness drove me from the home. It made me come to America and work for success. I am happy I did. There's a passage near the end of Conan the Barbarian that has always stuck to me, actually. As Conan is about to kill him and avenge his parents, Thor says, "Who is your father if it is not me? Who gave you the will to live? I am the wellspring from which you flow." So it's not always obvious what you should celebrate. Sometimes you have to appreciate the very people and the circumstances that traumatize you. Today, I hail the strictness of my father and of my whole upbringing, and the fact that I did not have everything that I wanted in Austria, because those were the very factors that made me hungry. Every time he hit me, every time he said my weight training was garbage, and every time he disapproved of me or embarrassed me, it put fuel on the fire in my belly. It drove me and it motivated me. Stay hungry. Be hungry for success, hungry to make your mark, hungry to be seen and to be heard, and to have an effect. And as you move up and become more successful, make sure that you also be hungry for helping others. So many accomplished people just coast. There's so much more to life than just being the greatest in one thing. So why not use that for the connections and to do more with all those things? We can reach out, we can help our neighborhoods, and if you feel a desire to do more, then go all out. My father always told me, be useful, do something. And he was right. Live a risky life and a spicy life. Every day, do something that scares you. We should all stay hungry.